Hello, everybody. My name is Mitchell Saum. I am the sales director at BDV Solutions, and I am here today with Chris Richardson. Chris is an immigration attorney and a former U.S. consular officer for the State Department. Chris, do you want to give a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, my name is Chris. Like Mitchell said, I'm a former U.S. diplomat and immigration attorney. I served in Nigeria, Nicaragua, Pakistan, and Spain as a visa officer.
Thank you for being here today, Chris. And this is the beginning of a new series that Chris and I are going to be doing, talking about immigration and different aspects of immigration. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 things you might not have known about the EB visas, also known as the employment-based visas. So we're going to just jump right in and get started. Number one, there are 140,000 immigrant visas issued per year. Chris, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, like Mitchell said, we have 140,000 employment-based immigrant visas that are issued every year. These visas are basically as a mechanism for U.S. companies and for foreign nationals to obtain a green card to stay here in the United States and eventually get their U.S. citizenship. But there are 140,000, and they range the gamut of different industries in the country.
So to break down that 140,000, EB1, which is the first category, has 40,000 workers. EB2 also has 40,000 workers. EB3 also has 40,000 workers. And then EB4 and EB5 both have 10,000 workers each. When you add all those together, you get 140,000. And those numbers aren't necessarily hit every year. So there aren't necessarily applicants that fill all of those, but that is the maximum capacity of employment-based green cards that are issued per year. Number two, the employment-based visa program has been around since 1990. Chris, you want to talk about how the EB program started?
Sure, Mitchell. So before 1990, there were actually only two types of employment-based visas. It wasn't nearly as a developed category as it is now, and it really was built for only certain types of people in certain industries. And in 1990, Congress finally decided, hey, we need to have a bigger, broader category that matches what was needed in 1990 in terms of employment-based opportunities for people and companies here in the United States. And so it really expanded into this huge program now where you get all sorts of people who get employment-based immigrant visas.
And I think that the EB program was a big part of the Immigration Act of 1990. What else came from that Immigration Act?
There were obviously employment-based, but there's also family-based case that expanded a little bit. You had a lot of refugee and asylum issues in there. There were non-immigrant visa issues in there, and so it really was like a encompassing, comprehensive immigration reform act as a way of expanding employment-based and family-based opportunities for both American citizens and their loved ones abroad or their employees abroad.
Okay. And today is March 3rd, 2021. Has the employment-based program changed at all since 1990?
Tweaks, but not really though. No, it's been pretty much the same for 30 years now. Maybe it's in time for it to be updated, and there is like talks of updating it, but really the program hasn't changed that much since 1990.
So 30 years we've had employment-based green cards that have been relatively the same.
Yep.
So let's move to the next one, number three. The EB program caters to U.S. businesses of all sizes, small businesses, mid-sized businesses, and large businesses that are interested in sponsoring workers or foreign labor for permanent green cards, right?
That's right. That's right, Mitchell. So all sorts of industries take part in the EB program or process, and I think a lot of them people would be very surprised that Facebook, Google, law firms take part in them, companies, consulting firms, janitorial companies, restaurants, any type of industry or business you can think of in the United States probably takes part in the employment-based process and tries to bring over immigrant visa applicants. And so all sorts of businesses have it. Some of them take more advantage of it than others. And so you have a lot of industries, even universities, for example, are really big users of the EB process. Silicon Valley and tech companies as well, they use the EB process as well. But even smaller companies use it too.
Great. Number four, the employment-based visa program caters to everybody. I think that there's a large misconception that you have to have a degree or you have to be extremely skilled or extremely qualified to apply for an EB visa. That's really not the case, and there's different categories. Certain EB categories you do need qualifications. Other EB categories you don't necessarily need those qualifications.
That's absolutely right, Mitchell. And I think that's the big misconception about EB, even among attorneys, where they think that really you have to be this really, really skilled person. But there are categories where they do cater to people who are in unskilled jobs, such as EB3, other workers that we work in. But you don't have to be like any kind of superstar. I mean, it's nice to be what's called to get that Einstein visa, which is the EB1. But there are other opportunities out there for people to get employment-based case applications approved.
And just a question here, EB5 is obviously the investment visa. Does all that require is capital? Or are there other?
More or less, yeah. You got the money, and you are from certain countries, and there is no like visa retrogression going on in your country, and you invest a certain amount in a certain regional center, you're good to go.
Gotcha. So don't think that if you aren't qualified that you can't find an EB category that could work for you, because you can. And number 5, and this is one that I am most intrigued by. There's a lot of different famous people that you probably have heard of that have been sponsored through the EB program. So just to name a few of those: Bob Marley, Melania Trump, Natalie Portman, Stéphane Bancel, who is the CEO of Moderna, Kumail Nanjiani, John Oliver, and Pamela Anderson are all famous people that are well known in the United States. Do you have any comments on any of those?
No, it's just fascinating. It really goes to show you that I think that as Americans and even foreign nationals, we see these really famous people and we don't quite know how they got here, or we don't even think about how they got here. But everybody has like a story. A lot of people have immigrant stories. None of us, except for the Native Americans, are native to this land. And people have different ways and journeys that we got here, that our parents got here, our great-grandparents got here. And so everybody has like that really intriguing story. And so, I think that that's one reason why I'm so excited to be in immigration, is to help somebody and be a part of their story to become an immigrant to the United States.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for joining me today and teaching us a little bit about the employment-based immigration program. It is a very large category of green cards that are issued every year. So it's vital, for U.S. businesses and for foreign nationals that are seeking immigration solutions. So thank you for being here, and I hope to do another one of these with you very soon.
For sure. Thanks, Mitchell.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep, you too.